Hey gang, Toadie here. I have got my chamomile tea ready and we have something a little bit different today. We are going to be working on my guest spot in the Ladies in the City. Now, I usually play with a little over 100 mods installed and anywhere between like 5,000 and 9,000 assets. And we are going into this city with a lot less than that. And I am so excited to try to get my usual like kind of whimsical detailing self into this city. As for what I'm actually going to build, you have to stay tuned to find out.
Hi everybody, I'm Grahtles.
I'm Sunken Ship.
I'm Joy, and this is
Ladies in the City.
Welcome to our take on City Skylines multiplayer.
Ladies in the City will premiere every Sunday at 12:30 Eastern.
We'd like your feedback, so please come hang out with us. And don't forget to
Like, comment, and subscribe.
We will take a look at the rest of the city in just a quick second, but the very first thing that we're gonna do is to get our main roads set up, and that's going to look like going from this to this. And if we just do a little whoosh around this area, you can potentially see what some of my plans are. I will do my best to explain. I am a Canadian and I was trying to think of what I could bring to this city to kind of make my own little mark on it, but still play into what the gals have going. And so I thought I would bring a little bit of small town Canada, maybe hopefully try to make it feel like East Coast, which is going to be a little bit of a challenge without the assets that I'm used to, but I am so ready for a challenge. And I got this save with a large demand for office and commercial. So in the parts that are not on the little island, we will do a bit of tourism, commercial, and some offices to help meet those demands so that we can have our low density residential guys move in. Our next task here is to get the last bit of the infrastructure in with the roads and all of the transit options. So coming here, let's see, we wanted train tracks, but over this way, yes. This ground bypass train station is going to fit very nicely right here. I'm going to place it actually like right in the middle here of Amity Street and then delete this rail. And we will be putting train tracks on the sides of that in a little bit. The other transit that we need here is tram. And so I'm going to grab, what is the best way of doing this? Now, I am not familiar with a lot of these roads that the girls have installed, so I actually really enjoy that. Just means I'm spending a little bit more time than usual kind of looking for things. Let's do just the straight up 2-lane road with tram tracks. Bring it here for now, and then what does the tram depot look like? That is going to be a little too... Now that fits just fine beside the bridge, and then yes, this will potentially create two intersections that are pretty close to each other. So maybe the solution instead is to grab these nodes here and bring them this way just a little bit. For now, I want to get this tram track motoring. And one of the challenges that I think I am going to face is that I want it to cross over here as well, but I want it to look nice, as you do often, right? So why don't we start... We know that it's going to go there. This is kind of how I did this bridge. I brought this out like this. It is not where that's going to stay. Maybe we bring it to this one, and then we just... It's going to actually intersect with that road as well. So where is the best place? I think that we'll make that look okay, and then we'll wait to bring that out. So now what I would like to do is grab this node with move it. I'm holding Alt and I'm just kind of making it look a little better. We can do that with that segment as well, and I'm just kind of going to do that per node here, and it takes a lot of finagling, but it does eventually look pretty good. Then I like to grab all of the nodes that I have made a bridge type and bring them to be the same height. Now I think they are going to have to be a higher height. That looks just fine. And then this looks fine as well. If we go Control N for node controller, make that one a slope, that looks better too. And then that leaves us free to come back over here, go down to following the ground, and then we can have the tram road come out this way too. Before we get too carried away with this tram and all of this stuff, I think we need to start getting some of this industry demand down. So it's time for the very exciting going to make my own district in the Ladies City. I'm stoked about this. I am very, very excited. What a messy district. Wow, oh wow. What's the name going to be? Applegate District. Let's see if by the time that this episode is done, let's see if I come up with something a little more fun than Applegate District. All right, I have placed all of the roads that we're going to use for now here, and I have also put down our water. Everything's good. This guy will get electricity, you know, soon-ish, and we are going to try something together. I'm going to pause the game, and I am usually a plopper of assets. I typically put down my assets using Ryko. Please roast me in the comments with how I'm pronouncing that, as well as find it. We may not have Ryko, but we still have the possibility, hopefully, maybe, of getting this right. And I've done it before, and I think I can remember how to do it again. So I've just disabled zoning on this main road here, so it gives this road the full 4 squares. I'm going to do this for now, and then if we go into find it, let's go over here, growable. I would like the offices only, please. And I'm going to try to find offices that will accomplish what I want. So I'm going to go full 4 distance back. And on this back row, I do want them to be higher in height. Of course, what else would they be higher in? And let's see, was that the one that I just put down? I think it might be, right? That one's pretty tall. But now we should be able to go with the 4x4s. Try to get a proper skyline going here. And I think this will work. Let's see what happens. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to historical every one of these. And can we cross our fingers for a sec that this works like it's supposed to? All right, 3 of them disappeared. I wonder if they were like level 3 buildings that I put down. Well, it says level 1. Why don't you just go there? Why don't you just do what I want you to do? I have managed to make a few stick around. I'm not sure I actually had much effect on what stuck around or not, but at least now they won't change. They're all complaining about services, which is just fine. I've put down a couple of the kind of like mandatory ones. Now we are definitely wanting more office and more commercial here. What I do have, I've got the tourism set up. Why don't we go ahead and just, you know what, maybe we'll just try to zone some in and see what it brings. All right, as I am going through this process, we have had some buildings abandoned, and I just want to show you guys what my plan is. We just take them with Move It, and we come down here, press reset objects, and they're good to go. I think though we should get these guys some recycling coverage at least. If we're going to make pollution, we might as well do this. Let's grab these and reset them. I think I've managed to put down a couple buildings that will stay. This one's all right. Oh, it's the same as these ones, but you know what? We're gonna leave it. And I'm going to delete this guy. That was high density commercial, right? Yes. So let's go to tourism. Let's go 2x4. And it doesn't seem to exist. 2x3, however, does. So let's put that nightclub in there. And then get rid of those. Hopefully it will come in and stay there. Very good. I've left this zoning available so that we can open a new tab and find it. And let's go to Ploppable. I would like all of their parks, please. I know they have this. The 2x4 parking lot is going to be our lifesaver. So we're gonna put this down in a few places to give these guys, well, they're gonna think that it's a park, which is a bonus, but it will also allow people to park. And I am vehement in not allowing folks to park on my roads. These guys are going to be cranky about too few services for quite a while because they are the level 3 buildings, and so they want to be covered very, very well, right? Now we've done all of the services that are required, like medical, fire, police, you know the drill, but they are going to need parks in their area if they want to be happy. So I think a balloon tour would be way too much fun to have around here. Where, oh, where could we get this going? I would love to get it set up right here. I think it is time to just slam it down and then do the moving and adjusting around beside it. A balloon taking off right near a windmill blade? That's no problem, right? You know what is a problem though? I haven't shown any of the rest of the city yet. I just want to do a couple flyovers of a few of my favorite areas of the city. These gals have done a remarkable job coming together to create something rad. To my usual gang, I will say it again, if you haven't watched any of the other ladies who have worked on the city, their links are in the description below. They are absolutely all worth checking out. And to anyone who may be meeting me for the first time, if you are enjoying the video so far, please do give it a thumbs up. Look at all of these amazing views behind me. I'm so impressed with the city. I really, honestly, it's really cool to see what can be done with, in my opinion, so few assets. But while we have been marveling at this views, someone has been building in my little area. So what has been built over here? We have this area as we have known and left it. It's still doing its thing. It still needs transit stops. Please don't let me forget that. But we have all of the roads built in that I think we're going to want. So we're going to start over here, and I want to put some sort of tourist attraction over here. I'm not quite sure what. I think over here having a theater of wonders kind of makes sense. I really hope the gals don't mind me plucking that unique building out of the options. I just think it makes a lot of sense to have it in such a nice area. So I'm going to build just a wee one-way road to get the traffic off of this main tram line. We'll see how effective that is. And then if we can we do have anarchy, so I'm just going to plunk it in and then we can bus from there. Busing from there is pretty much my favorite thing to do in the game. Those line up fine. I'm just looking at the parking to make sure it doesn't really run into anything. That goes on the grass a little bit. That will be better this side. Over here, I think that's believable, which is nice. And then over here, why don't we actually do the parking lot roads? Take this, I think the middle one will be best here. Let's bring it out as much as we can. Although, is this level? It's not the most level. So we could do a little bit of this. We'll see what we can do there to maybe hide the land elevation change with like some trees, that kind of thing. And let us put in, we will get the accessible parking in first and then build up the rest. We have the road doing some funny things here too. So just going to grab those nodes, bring them out. Right, it is all to do with the elevation change. If we turn this into a slope, that will certainly help. That's already a slope. We should be good for parking there. And if I haven't already done this, that doesn't need it. I did see a statue that I thought right here, this official park, I think I might bring it over here just to help these guys have more like stuff around them. If we tuck it in there and we, again, kind of cheat the system a little bit, I think we can. I think I'm going to turn it to face that way though. Now, coming back this way, we are going to zone in some office for sure. Let's just do offices along here. And I will be heavily maintaining these to make sure that the types of buildings that I want to zone in do end up zoning in. And everywhere else, I think I'm going to do like a mix of high and low density commercial, a little bit of offices as well. and see what we can come up with over here. Now, of course, we won't have services over here, but what I think we can get away with is maybe doing some services that kind of function for this and this. Why don't we grab this? Now, this is supposed to feel, this island specifically is supposed to feel East Coast Canada, and we don't have assets really that fit that design, but we should be able to choose between the European style and the American style for each. I think what may work is actually this more European looking hospital. So before much zones in here, I'm going to force it right there and see what that looks like. Oh, this road is just very high. Okay, so why don't we take this road and lower it in a few places? And then we need to help out the land, don't we? We also need to bring power over before folks start getting really upset. So let's do that right here. And then we might be able to delete that one once these buildings zone in. Now, death care, I actually think a graveyard would work really well in the kind of East Coast low density feeling area. So we can tuck that in, I think right there. Let's see what that looks like. That looks okay. So we will continue to watch that. For fire, I love this rural fire station. This was a great choice, gals. I'm going to tuck it all the way over here, and it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect for what I needed. Of course, we need power over this way too. How can we bring that over best? Let's bring one line over this way, which I'll find a way to connect in a sec. And then we can bring the next line over this way. And if we turn off collision, we should be able to do that and have that connect at least. And then we can go from there. For now, I'm gonna do this, but that'll definitely end up deleting. We've let these guys grow in, and I put down the services needed over here. At least I've got death care, fire, and police. We will definitely need a school over here, but that is to come, because before we work on the area that I'm the most excited about, we need to get transit happening here. These guys are so cranky, and I think the best way of making them less cranky, hopefully really crossing my fingers on this, is to give them some more transit. So let's go into the tram area, tram stops, and let's give these guys all of these tram stops that they are crying out for. So we will do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I'm gonna say we'll probably want one there. We'll probably want one before or after. Let's do it here so it's interrupting less traffic. We might as well have another one down here and then back up. And what we will do, I'm gonna give that the default number of trams. Do we have just the one tram type, that's fine. And then I'm gonna do the exact same circle, just in reverse. Excellent. And I am going to make these tram lines my personal colors. Girls, if you want to change these up, of course, you are so welcome to. I'm just having fun here. The other thing we can bring down here is bus stops, and I'm really hoping that someone will have a bus depot nearby enough. And I'm going to just try to do little loops around the area that can maybe feed in and around the tram lines. Honestly, the biggest reason I'm doing these bus lines is to give these guys more services and help them be happier. So it's not necessarily for effectiveness. And you may have been wondering what on earth was going on with this train station. Well, let me show you 2 brand new rail lines being installed into the city. And what are we going to do with those lines? I have used the commuter rail lines, I think they're called, the ones that look really cool when you elevate them. And I've assigned the line to the bullet trains. I've already plunked the line in. It just stops at all 3 stations there and back. And this will help bring folks from the rest of the city into this little tourism area. And anyone who wants to work at the offices that we have put down can come in from outside this area as well. Now that the majority of this area is built up the way that I think I want it to be, it is high time we named this district, don't we think? We are going to name it Marito's Cove. I went with like Maritimes for the Canadian Maritimes, plus a little bit of me, and it's kind of a cove and it's cozy feeling. And we have one last area to tackle. I'm going to try the whole thing again where I pause the game. I'm going to zone in the places that I do want to put in some houses, and I'm going to plop them again. Now we're going to need over here power, but I want to get low density, and I'm going to try to find the houses that are East Coast feeling-ish. And let's bring the power over here for these guys. I guess we can do it along the back here. If we turn off collision, can I sneak in a way that almost makes sense? And we'll see what happens when these guys all move in. I highly suspect, because we really don't have much of a demand for residential, but I can't do much more for that than I already have. So I'm really hoping that these 4 lots stay with us. Now we do also need a school over here. You can see I've used all of the EU buildings, and I guess I've kind of done that on purpose. When you go out east in Canada, it really sometimes does feel like you're visiting Europe #2, which makes so much sense because that's where we settled a lot. He didn't like that. Probably because there was no one to move in there. Interesting. We'll see. I'm just gonna let them do their thing for a little bit. And we need to figure out where to put a school. I'm thinking right here. Now that is a big high school. I don't think I have anywhere. We might be able to fit that high school over this way. Let's try it. Can we use the magic of Move It Mod? It looks like we can. We can get away with that. And then up here, the parking kind of makes sense. What does this look like? That fence is behind that tree. It's just a little crooked. We can get away with that. That's totally fine to me. And let's give them some elementary schooling as well. Again, I'm really tempted to use the EU feeling one. I'm gonna put it down. I don't know if we'll keep it. Oh, you know what? It does kind of feel, it feels a little East Coast. We're going to keep it there, I think. Or rather, why don't we put it over here where it fits in so nicely with all of the yards? Squeeze it in. Honestly, if we could have those hedges be shared, that would be really cool. This guy just needs a minor adjustment. Okay, I think we're gonna leave that at that. So far, we have most of these guys staying put, which is fantastic, and we just get to figure out what's going to happen with the rest of this area. I think we definitely need a couple parks, and with putting down parks comes my favorite part of this video game, and that is, of course, making things look pretty. So I'm gonna keep the game paused while we do this because we are almost at 65,000 population. I'm not sure the game would bring us over that during this detailing period, but I don't want to have us hit that. I think that should be reached with whoever gets the city next, or, you know, the regular gals, they can hit their final milestone of Megalopolopolis and they can have fun with that. So we are first going to do just a little bit of trash back here. Apparently I feel like that is something that, you know, would be the norm. Maybe a vehicle is a little bit too much though. We could do some concrete rubble past there. My camera movements are on point, and these rocks will be kind of the finishing little touch down here anyways. Around here, I definitely would like to put some picnic benches for folks to come and have their lunches out here in the park. Definitely some bins. I prefer using these 2 bins as a combo. So like if we come to this path, putting this one and this one together, then you kind of think one is recycling, one is for garbage. Grab them with the props, copy pasta them a couple times around. Over here could be an area where we put in those regular kind of props that you would see in a park area. Yeah, we could make the space look pretty good, couldn't we? If we do this, put this way, and then I have, yes, these little ones from Park Life. They are, I think you usually find them in the Nature Reserve tab. But when you don't have like a wee little path that you can use, I like to use these kind of side by side to give the illusion of a path being there. So like, you know that you follow this side of the rocks, right? Very good. I think that looks okay. And there is also something else that I like to put with this. It is the statue. Yes, we can take this, bring it over here. Do a little bit of this. Now we don't have trees, bushes, rocks in this section yet, so we will definitely make those happen. Let's continue putting down a couple other things. Right, we could extend the little playground area. Of course we could. What is this? Oh, a flower pot on a stand. Very nice, very nice. Let's get a fountain or two happening here. We could put them around this way, actually. Very good. We also could put, we have, where are they? I think, yes, we have these flower beds that I would like to put down back here. So put them in a line as well. I wonder, we are going to do that and think that looks pretty all right. Get some benches along there. Absolutely. Very good. And this space is missing something. I remember seeing these. Yes, these are pretty common for detailing with like vanilla assets. You can build a little marketplace style thing back in here. So we will get some shops happening. We've got these guys who have just rolled up and parked and said, hey, come buy our goods. And then we will give them some picnic tables. Coming back out to this view so that I can show you the process with the trees and the rocks. We already have our tree palette kind of in here from earlier. So I am just going to grab trees. Now it's doing the thing where the water was wet here. Wait, water is wet? The ground was wet here from the flooding. I think it's from when I was doing some landscaping. So I am hoping, praying these trees will come back to life soon-ish. If not, well, I mean, what can you do? What can you do when you live in a shoe? You can move to a boot and get laced. Going to bring this kind of more foresty in here. Try to tuck away those more vanilla feeling oak trees and really just fill this area out. I would like to have this area with the pagoda feel separate from this area with the benches. Have this area feel kind of natural as well. There are too many of these trees in here. We will have to get something else in there too. Do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I love this. This is my favorite part of the game. Have I mentioned that yet? Maybe, probably a couple times, right? And then get some, what is this? The lantana happening. Get some of the grass happening. There's the grass. Get it all in there as well. A couple nice bushes with pretty color to them to get some variety in the color. And we have these bushes as well, again, to get the variety with the shorter greenery. And with a few other touches, it looks pretty good, right? If I do say so myself. That is really my process when it comes to detailing. So with you having seen that, it is time to speed up the footage and show you more of my detailing and decoration around the island and the cove. There is so much to do. If you have any questions about the process of what you've seen me do today, be it with this detailing that's happening right now, or even with some of the other things that I have done, please do feel free to ask me in the comments below. I love seeing what you guys have to offer down there. But let me just get the DJ to turn this music up a little bit and we will get to work. Now this last little bit of proper detailing, let's do this together. There is a lighthouse something out there. Is it a building? What is this thing? And of course we're gonna put it out here. If we just do it like so, it's going to look like so. Wow. All right, let's fix that up. If we do this, that should be good enough. I want to kind of tidy the land around it, but I really am nervous about using this smooth tool too much, but that looks all right. Looks like we did okay there. And I do want to make a path going up to it, right? I know that the Sims won't necessarily use it, but that's not all that matters. Do so. I think that looks all right. Can I get this segment? I can. Excellent. I'm okay with that. This step, I will do a before and after, and you can't see it maybe so well from back here, but if you zoom in, we have rocks all along that path. I like to do the rocks all along the one side. I think it looks really nice. And then, speaking of rocks, we are going to make that kind of the main, I don't know, draw the main something of this area, because you've got it over here as well. So if we do this, we can get one over there. I would like to get one more bigger rock in here. What about this guy? I think he could fit there if that wasn't so crazy. So how can we help this? If we do that, we can have the one leaf on the path, that's fine. And this side doesn't even look too crazy. I can work with that. If we grab these guys here, the kind of flat ones, they call it the rock area, I guess. We can work these into the whole bit. Very good. Maybe, do we want to go up here with them? Maybe not. And then the last ones, well, second last ones, I kind of do 2 more rounds, I think. Just have to keep scrolling. I'm just gonna go to where I know they are. Holy, my wrist actually hurts from scrolling so much. And then the last rock placement is these kind of generic vanilla ones. Put them in and around to make this feel a little more spicy. I guess we're calling rocks spicy now. And then finally, you guys probably have caught the drift by now, is grabbing my trees from the nearby tree pallets and smashing them down. So this side is going to be like heavily wooded. This side over here, we'll just do kind of a few places that make sense. And then my kind of undergrowth pass, I will show that to you one more time. So I kind of go from tallest to least tall. So I'll show it to you in this area. We've got the tall grass, and then after that I do the lantana so that it kind of peeks out from the grass and is like a nicer transition from the tall grass to just like the vanilla, you know, floor, I guess. And then after that, so that that doesn't look weird, I grab the actual like undergrowth props and plunk them in. And these ones you can actually turn and make them look like they break. So they break that kind of transition even better. And if we zoom out and come around after placing a couple benches and bins and plants as well, I think this is pretty well what I was going for. Really, we could say that about the last 30 minutes, I think. I have had a wonderful time putting this little cove together and sharing my process with you. Another giant thank you to Joy, Sunken, and Grahtles for having me as a guest on their series. They are really creating something wonderful here. If this is your first time seeing a video of mine and you've enjoyed my building, please do subscribe to the channel. I'm sure that there are other videos that you will enjoy as well. I offer city skylines tips and tutorials, both modded and vanilla, and I'm currently building a city with a substantial amount of mods and assets. Detailing and beauty are my favorite to focus on, but I maintain function in the city as well, along with the budget and milestones. On the screen right now is episode 1 of my current series where we are building up the city of Dermanport. Please do watch it next to get caught up, and gang, I will catch you next time.